Today I'm in a local feed factory and we're making our fish feed. On the floor right here we have our GNC, which is groundnut cake, and right there on the scale we have the soya. We have the soya, it has been scaled and it's going to be combined to the GNC. Now, when making fish feed, it's done in layers. We have about 10 types of raw materials, or even sometimes more than 10 types of materials, from micronutrients to animal protein to, groundnut cake, to soya, to corn, to guinea corn, to wheat, to flour. So right here, as you can see, that's the soya that's now been put up there, down there with the GNC. And it's a very educative process for people so that you actually know what the fishes eat. Believe it or not, when you have a fish farm, a commercial fish farm, like I said before, 85% of the total cost of running your fat goes into feeding your fishes highly nutritious feed. If you do not do that, you end up running at a loss. So we're very meticulous about how we make our local feed. And we call it local feed because these are locally grown materials, locally grown in Nigeria. And one of the reasons why the price of fish feed has gone through the roof in the last year and a half is because of the situation with insecurity. As more and more of the farmers all across Nigeria are being ravaged by or are being driven out of their homes, the implication of that is that, so right here is flour. The next item is flour. The flour is now going to be added on top. So we have about almost 30 kg. And there's a lot of mixture going on. It's going to mix. It's almost like making a salad, more or less. Like I told you, taking care of fishes is like taking care of babies. They're highly demanding and you have to be very careful about all you do and what you do. But I have to give thumbs up to the owner of this feed mill. He's a young man, a PhD student at the University of Benin. Him and his brother, they run this place together. And they're very good with feed formulation. They're very good when they make highly nutritious feed for the fishes. So if you can see right now, here you go. That's the flour. And, he has to spread it around so that they can go around evenly. So, and there's a certain percentage that is used. Certain percentage we can't. Next on the list is, maize. That's corn maize. So it's a balanced diet for the fishes, I'm telling you. We have protein, we have carbohydrate, we have fat. Okay, the guys need some help, I think, putting that stuff on the scale. It's quite heavy. So, the essence of making this video is just for those of you that are asking, what formulations do you use for your fish feed? Or how do you make your fish feed? Okay. All right. So over there on the scale is the weight. The weight is about how many? That weight. Okay. So you can see this is corn. Let me show it to you. This is corn right here. Corn. The first item on the list right here. See how it's caked up. See how it's caked up. And then we have the soya. And then we have the flour. And now corn. So a lot of these raw materials are sourced from factories from across the South and even beyond. Quite interesting as we go around. And some of you might be asking, why do you do it on the floor? Well, that's the only way. These floors have already been cleaned, sanitized, and washed. So this is the only way that we could evenly spread it out and mix them up. So, but of course, you know, there are definitely more modern ways to do this, but for now, this is the process we're in. The owner of this farm is looking towards improving and, you know, upscaling on his factory, but, you know, it's going to involve a lot of funds for him to do that. But I'll tell you that it's quite, it's good business anyway. So, right here we are crushing the flour, which is already caked up. And right here is the groundnut. So I don't know what the difference is, but in America we call groundnuts in Nigeria peanuts. So, but this here is groundnut. I'll call it groundnut because I'm in Nigeria right now. Groundnut is the same thing as peanuts. And groundnut contains fat and some, I would say just fat, right? Groundnut mostly has fat. What other thing does groundnut have?
That's oil.
And oil,
yeah.
Which is the same thing as fat, right?
Yeah, and it's also protein source.
A source of protein. Yeah. So there's a saying that fish needs protein to grow. That's how, you know, they grow best if you do add a little bit of all of these raw materials with the right percentage of components. So it's very interesting. This is the first time I'm also witnessing this myself. So he's mixing them together with a shovel. Yeah, that's quite interesting. So he's trying to mix them up. The reason why is he's, you know, this is like a form of a mixer, trying to mix it up together so the items can all be well mixed, because as it goes into the machine is going to grind it. We have a hammer mill. This over here is the hammer mill machine, locally fabricated by local engineers in Nigeria. It grinds the feed. There will be a bag right here on this side, and this is the engine that runs it. They also have other types of machines, but this is the machine that grinds it. And then they have over here the pelleting machine. This machine pellets all the feed. The next on the line is blood meal. Blood meal. Blood meal is also highly proteinous. Now I'll explain to you blood meal. Now blood meal is the blood you get from cow, from the abattoirs, from the cow when they're being killed. The blood is drained. Now what happens is it's processed. It's processed. So it's the way of processing blood meal is it's cooked. It's cooked under hot heat. When it's cooked under hot heat, it coagulates. The blood meal coagulates into very thick forms when it's cooked under high heat. And I'm going to pick up one so I could show it to you. See how it's reddish in color? That's blood. Yes, blood meal. It's one of the best things you can give to your animals. Fish. It helps with their growth. So I'm going to touch this and show. See, it's even quite warm. Right here is blood. Here you go. See, it's coagulated right here, and that's it. It's amazing how innovative our people are. in everything that we do. I just wish the government would support us a little bit more. And if electricity was constant, then, you know, things would move faster. It's absolutely amazing. So right now we have about 5 to 6 items already. So he's also gonna break it. He's gonna the feed miller. He's gonna break the blood into particles. See? He has to break it. The essence of that, of breaking it, is to make sure that it goes round. It spreads round evenly. We do not want some section to have some materials and others not to. So we kind of spread it around. All lined up over there, as you can see, are all types of materials. Groundnut cake, flour, soya, groundnut, wheat. And we also, part of this, the process of making feed includes also some micronutrients. Very essential in making feed. We have nutrients, micronutrients like lysine, methionine. We even add salt to it. Some people add palm oil, but we wouldn't be needing palm oil in our formulation. Our formulation has already been put together, tested in the lab. It's a 100% highly nutritious for our fishes. And so the next thing that's going to be weighed now is fish meal. Now, I call fish meal the big banger. Fish meal is the big banger. It's 100% the most important raw material in the process of feed, making of fish feed. And that's because catfish, they love the smell of fish and they need fish to grow. That is just how they are wired. Catfish is wired to eat fish. I can't say it's the same for tilapia or other types, but I believe it's basically just about the same thing. But catfish, they eat fish. That is how they're they're built, or how they are wired. Right here we have, and when this bag is open, you're going to see that it's different types of fish. Brought over from the rivers and already processed. So I can't wait for the bags to be opened up so we can review what the contents are. So it usually takes a couple of hours to put all this together. So what we do is, you can see, here you go. So over here I can see crawfish. Americans call it crawfish. Nigerians call it crayfish, the big ones. And we have dried prawns, dried shrimps, and what the Edo people would call bonga fish. Bonga fish. Here we go. Here. All fish. And we had how much? 100?
Yes, making 100 kilograms.
Well, yeah, we need 100 kilograms of fish for this fish feed we're making. We're actually making a total of 500 kg of fish feed. That's what this formulation is about. Did you see that? Did you see that huge cow that came out from that bag? Quite expensive too. Here, for those of you who remember our local fish right here in our communities, this is dry bonga fish. So this is dry bonga fish. See, I'll tell you this, nothing should be wasted. In the process of agriculture, nothing should be wasted. Right here. So this is crayfish. And also I saw some other huge prawns. As soon as I see a prawn, I'll pick it up. and give it to you. We have prawns right here. Actually, here's the prawn. Right here is a prawn. See, that's a shell, a prawn. That's just the head. So you can imagine how massive this was. So nothing should be thrown away. I think the way God designed the world, everything should be recycled. Nothing should be put to waste. But we're only wasting stuff because we haven't learned what to do with it, or we do not know what to do with it. So here you go. I'm going to zoom in so you can see the fish. 100 kg of fish was just weighed and added. That is, I believe that this is really, really very, very informative and educative. Now, in my farm, I start using local feed from 3 months. But that's about to change because with the high cost of foreign feed, which the cost of foreign feed right now, the average cost of foreign feed right now is about, I would say, 8,000 to 9,000 for a bag of 15 kg. I'm going to have to start using local feed from 2 months. I'm going to have to change. So these are the ways you get very innovative so that you stay in the business. Otherwise, you run at a loss. Here you go. So now they've spread it all over, all around. This is really great. So now our formulation continues. It's like making lasagna. You know, you keep topping it up, from one item to the other. So next item on the list is spent grain. It's wonderful. So spent grain brought over from 30 kg.
From Guinness, Nigeria.
Yes, from Guinness, Nigeria. These are
leftover from
the making of barley.
Yeah.
This is actually the remnant of barley used in making a maltex or malt. This is the leftover from barley, but they call it spent grain, spent or spelt. I'm not sure how the spelling is, but this is from barley. So who would have ever thought? I'm quite sure in the past they used to throw this out until they started to become very innovative with what they use. Nothing should be thrown away. Believe it or not, you can also use even waste from macaroni or what they call Indomie, waste from bread. So you can also go into the bakeries to get waste from their bread. Yeah. Now, who can guess what the next item is? Who can guess? Right here is bone meal. Bone meal. Bone meal. This is bone meal. Now, bone meal is from bone. These are the bone of the cow. The bone of the cow, like it's crushed. So when you dried bones from the abattoirs, there you go. Bone meal. When you get bones from the abattoirs, animal bone, we're talking about animal bone. You see those bones that are gotten from the cows that are killed? They are processed, and this is the final product. And guess what? It goes into the fish feed. Now, the essence of this bone meal is to make their bones stronger. It's like a mineral.
calcium.
It gives them, calcium. It's a source of calcium. See? I'm telling you, you'll learn a lot here. You'll learn a lot here. I think most of the people who should be millers should be food processors. People who have degrees in food and science, because they know about the compositions of this feed. And I just really wanted to share this experience. I've been very anxious about about this process. I wanted to really witness it and share it with my viewers so that you can see what goes into. And it's very important. I believe that it's very important to be present when your feed is being put together. What that does is that you ensure that we trust this miller. We've been working with him for a while. I mean, we don't have to be here. But when you're a business person, you have to follow every process of your business. That's the only way to ensure success. All right. We also have here bone meal, but it's crushed. It's been processed already by the machines. But these ones were not crushed. It wasn't crushed. It wasn't crushed, but this one is crushed. You can see it's going to be like fine powder. Fine powder. So they're going to weigh 30. I'm telling you, it takes a lot of work. It's quite a bit physical.
Micronutrients.
Okay. It's so next on the line, micronutrients.
This is premix.
Premix. So this is some kind of a vitamin. So we call it micronutrient, but it's a vitamin. See how it's going around. So premix, like a vitamin that you add to your fishes. These are all natural materials that goes into the making of your fish feed. And next on the line is
enzyme.
Enzyme. It's also a micronutrient. It's an enzyme. You have to understand that, you know, when you're dealing with live animals, whether fishes or chicken, you have a poultry, grass cutter, whatever. There's a science behind all of this. There's a science behind how things work and how things should work, the composition. And next on the line to be added is enzyme again. So we're using 2 packs. Okay, Toxin Binder. Yeah, so that was a Toxin Binder. So what that does is that it actually helps to bind everything together. Because remember, we are going to pellet it into little pellets. So it's like when you're cooking in a bakery and you use some kind of binding material. Hallelujah, this is great. I'm telling you. I feel like I'm in school. Getting some education. And that's why I said I have to be here to witness a lot of things. Then you learn to appreciate the work that people put in for you when you're running a business from abroad. But one thing I've done is I always keep in touch with everybody that does everything for me. And you could be abroad actually, and then you can see this on video. All you need to say to the miller is, I want to see you do it. And he has a phone, he has videos, and he'll make it for you. Just methionine is also a micronutrient. Okay. We have here some very innovative young people. I'm telling you. So for those of you, so over there is salt. This is industrial salt. I'm telling you. It's like you're cooking for yourself and you add salt to it. The fishes eat, they need all this to be able to make it a complete meal. Salt is being added. So for those of you that might be saying, well, I'm not in Nigeria. How can I run a business from Nigeria? People in Nigeria are not to be trusted. Well, yeah, it's true. They are not to be trusted. But there are ways you can get around to doing things. If you have the passion for it, it's not for everybody. I'm not saying everybody should own a business, open a fish farm. Another micronutrient called lysine, Lysine. Lysine. It's also a micronutrient. I wish you could smell this place. It smells like, you know, it smells very good. All these materials mixed together, it smells good. And that's another thing I want to talk about. I want to talk about the fishes. The fishes have a great sense of smell. If the material is lacking any of this, if the formulation is lacking any of these materials, yeah, so they will not eat the feed. They will not eat it. So here we have vitamin C. Yes, believe it or not, vitamin C. So we have 2 cups of vitamin C right here. I'm just going to show you quickly. Vitamin C. It's a part of this formulation. This is all the things you need to put together to have a perfect, balanced feed for your fishes. So now it looks like we've completed this process. So now we're gonna use the shovel and do some rough mixing. This is the physical part of it. We're gonna mix all these materials together. Telling you. So now they've turned on the generating set and they're going to start putting all this through the hammer mill. The hammer mill is the grinder that's going to crush all these materials into fine powder. Yeah. This is really, really interesting. I'll tell you that. Really interesting. So now it's been all mixed up together, proper mixture. Usually you have a mixer. There would usually be a mixer, but they feel like this is a more efficient way of mixing all the materials together. And what we have here is 500 kg. The machine makes noise, right? Very soon, when we turn on the machine, you're not going to be able to hear me anymore. And so as soon as we just start grinding, I'm going to have to cut off the video just because of the noise. You wouldn't be able to hear. But this is the process. You know, it's going to go from here to the machine over there. Let me zoom into the machine again. It's going to go in there, and from there, it's going to go into the pelleting machine right there. And from there, the final place is going to go to is the dryer. I'm going to take a walk, and as I'm taking a walk, I'll show you all the materials right here that is used in this factory. And here is the dryer. This dryer is a manual one, powered by wood, fire. So they look at the wood. Some of the wood has already been there. They set up the fire, which has already been, this is kind of like a drying place where the pelleted feeds will be spread out here under this place, under the fire, for about 20-25 minutes or so. Maybe in 3 batches. Probably the 500 kg will be put in here in 3 batches, and then after that we get our local feed. Okay, viewers, thank you very much. It's been very, very interesting for me. Again, these are the materials that has been used. Here is bread waste. So here's bread waste, so nothing goes to waste. Burnt bread, overcooked bread, undercooked bread, these are part of things that are used. So thank you so much for your time, everybody. It's been a very important process, and our feed is about to be grinded into fine powder. All right, guys, take care and talk to you again later. Bye.